What's up, everybody? Real quick video coming at you because the Season 5 Reloaded patch notes are out, and there's some weapon changes that'll hopefully keep mixing up the balance like they've been doing so far, and just some other things coming in the Season 5 Reloaded update. So let's go ahead and get into it. As usual, I will have this link down below if you want to go check this out for yourself. So the playlist update this week, up until next Thursday, the playlist updates are going to be Solos, Duos, Trios, Quads, Clash, and then Resurgence, Trios, and Quads on Rebirth Island. And then next week we get the Iron Trials. We're getting it as duos. Hopefully we get that as a Trios and Quads later as well, because I'm not a big fan of duos. And then we'll have just Resurgence Quad. There'll still be Clash and Solos, Trios, and Quads. So I think they're going to be rotating in like they have with previous modes before, where they'll have duos, and then they'll either do Trios, Quads, Solos, and they'll have 1 week of each. Yep, and then okay, so yeah, the 23rd you have Iron Trial duos again. It said we'll let you choose from a few options, so that'll be cool. They'll probably do like a Twitter poll and let you vote on modes. And oh, they're bringing back Resurgence Extreme. I love Resurgence Extreme. It's probably my favorite Resurgence mode, but I hope they still have quads on that. It says return of a mode not seen in quite some time. I wonder what mode that would be. Hopefully it's an actual good one. And they'll buy back solos the week of September 30th. So I don't know if we're going to get an Iron Trials, Trios, and Quads. Hopefully we do. Events, the numbers. So those brave enough to investigate the mobile broadcast stations scattered across Verdansk will receive the following incentives. An instant $5,000 cash bonus in the current match. Each unique mobile broadcast station activating an event, you will receive an exclusive reward such as a sticker, calling card, or charm in addition to some XP. Complete all of the challenges the numbers event in either Warzone or Cold War to unlock the side melee weapon. The event will also include a set of 9 challenges within Warzone, which are based around the active mobile broadcast stations in Season 5 Reloaded. Through these challenges, you can unlock even more cosmetic rewards, as well as rewards and another arcade cabinet game for your collection by completing event challenges in Black Ops Cold War. Unlock the first ever event reward weapon, the Sai, by completing a full set of 9 challenges in either game starting September 21st. Modes, Clash, we covered this in the last video about Season 5 Reloaded. It's just 50v50 team deathmatch in Verdansk, and we're going to get that at launch, so we'll actually get that tonight at 9 p.m. Pacific, 12 a.m. Eastern. And then Iron Trials 84. So here's the actual details on Iron Trials 84, which I'm excited for. Last week we gave you a first look at some of the fundamental changes coming to Verdansk via this new mode. Altered health and regeneration, removal of loadout drops, new gulag rules, adjusted environmental hazards, classified weapons. Here are 3 additional changes to expect. Field upgrades. Dead silence and stopping power have been removed. Leave the pocket stand on the playground. I wish they would just bring this to regular Battle Royale. Sniper rifles can only one shot to the head within 30 meters. You're going to have to get up close and personal with the competition. I like this, and I don't like this. A sniper, obviously, if this was realistic, would be able to one-shot you in the head everywhere, just like any gun. But snipers, I think, should always be one-shot headshot, but I do like that they're trying to make this a more aggressive mode and not just camped-out snipers. Vehicles, ATV and dirt bikes only. That's nice. They don't offer like any protection. They're fast, but you're very unprotected. You'll need to dispatch your foes the old-fashioned way. Plan drops carefully and rotate early. As mentioned, those who place first will receive the exclusive calling card, and it's going to be this calling card here. We'll be unveiling the full extent of changes as we draw closer to the playlist update that will include the Iron Trials 84 on September 16th. I am definitely looking forward to finding out more details to that mode. Even if it's only duos, I will definitely try it. Mobile broadcast stations. The previously dormant mobile broadcast stations seem to be stirring. It is suspected that they will soon begin amplifying the Dragovich program tapes, aka the numbers broadcast across the region. Red doors. We receive reports of new unusual activity in the red door rooms. Operators have been asked to investigate. General, this is just question marks. Let's see what happens if we click on that. Oh, it just shows us this intel. I'm not sure what this intel will actually be, but I guess we will find out eventually. Yeah, I don't know how I was supposed to get that. But anyways, gameplay. Loot that spawns across Verdansk has been just as followed. New gulag loadouts. I don't like this gulag, so I don't really care. New pre-match loadouts. Weird when we've been able to select our own. And new ground supply box loot. Hopefully, I hope they bring up the level of the lower tier stuff and like get rid of like the single shot Tech 9 and stuff. Bug fixes. Really, the only big bug fix here is right here, fix the reticle alignment for the Swiss Roman standard blueprint. So If you didn't know, the reticle in the regular sniper scope on the Swiss Roman standard blueprint was misaligned, and so you couldn't use the blueprint and use the regular sniper scope, but obviously now you can. Weapons. Here's the big part coming. So, weapon change. While asserting the power level of Black Ops Cold War weapons, we have observed some disparities between ease of use and efficacy. The Krig 6, thank God, has shown an impressive performance at just about every engagement range. While we believe it is important to have a wide array of weapons which can be utilized by players of all skill levels, it is critical to the health of the game that their effectiveness scales appropriately with the skill required to wield them. If players can be as effective with a weapon that is pinpoint accurate, that has marginally slower time to kill potential than the hardest to wield weapons, why would they choose another? As we continue to address these weapons, we will also make adjustments to Black Ops Cold War attachments that offer recoil control. We feel these changes will provide a fairer, more diverse long-range landscape. C-58, nerf. High damage weapons like C-58 tend to adhere to a lower rate of fire and higher recoil, which generally balances out their hasty time to kill potential. Much like the Krig, the C-58 was a tad easier to control than we feel is appropriate for a weapon with its damage profile. While recoil adjusting can be rather nebulous, the exact details of the changes can often be difficult to quantify with numbers alone. While the C-58's recoil has been increased slightly, the majority of this change will be felt in the recoil pattern deviation. But as deviation is increased, it can create subtle shifts which become increasingly difficult to compensate for a given distance from the target. So it sounds like it'll just be more bouncy left to right, or the pattern's going to change. EM2, base optic eye position retracted. The EM2 is not receiving a direct reduction to its efficacy with this change, however, it will result in the base optic being less suitable substitute for higher magnification optics. This, however, in conjunction with the changes to recoil control barrels, will make the EM2 a slightly less viable option to the lesser skilled marksman. It's already kind of a higher skill gun, but now it's definitely going to be, and it sounds like the EM2 base optic is going to be essentially more zoomed out, which I actually would prefer, because if I go long range, I'm going with the 3 times on that. And it'd be nice to not have to put a microflex to use as like sniper sport or something. Assault Rifle Bravo, which is the FAL, it got a nerf. The upper torso multiplier was decreased from 1.1 to 1. It's a change like these align more closely with our goal to shift considerably accurate TTKs out of the 300 millisecond range. It wasn't really being used too much. I'm not too concerned about that. Groza sprint to fire increased by 15%, so it got a nerf, even though I haven't really seen people use the Groza. So once again, I don't understand that. Krig 6, maximum damage decreased from 30 to 29, mid damage now 25, minimum damage decreased from 25 to 23, and weapon kick adjusted. The vast majority of kills with the Krig 6 take place within its maximum damage range, which unsurprisingly is the longest of all Cold War assault rifles. This change will affect most time to kill breakpoints within its maximum damage range by 1 bullet. Additionally, we have added a third damage range. It's good, because the 1 damage drop-off was part of what made it so good, which is a change we do not suspect to be immensely impactful, as builds that extend damage range could push the mid-damage range out to nearly 100 meters, which is well beyond the average kill distance for the Krig. Though it is not all bad for the Krig, we have reduced some of the weapon's bounciness while firing, which makes it feel more enjoyable to use. I don't like that. I don't like that they didn't change really the recoil, unfortunately. Time to kill is going to be even slower, but they should have just added recoil to it. I definitely think you'll see the QBZ take over, like I said in my assault rifle video. Light machine guns. Light machine gun alpha, recoil increased slightly. Is that the M60? Oh no, that's the Stoner. And the Stoner had like no recoil, and if it's only slightly, I'm not too worried about it. The light machine gun alpha had already been an incredibly accurate LMG prior to the changes which added recoil change to the task force and match grade barrels. With the baseline increase to recoil and a reduction in the total amount of recoil control the aforementioned barrels offer, it will be harder to stay on target with the light machine gun alpha. I doubt it's going to be very difficult to use. That thing was an absolute laser beam. It had barely any more recoil than the RPD, but you could see the RPD take over. Tactical Rifle Charlie, which is the AUG, recoil decreased. Let's see. Given that we feel now is a good time to reassess their effectiveness, cognizant of the razor's edge of balance in which burst weapons exist, while this change will make the tactical rifle far easier to stay on target with, the reduction in effectiveness to the titanium barrels remains intact, which heavily contributed to the dominance of Tactical Rifle Charlie and M16 several seasons ago. Let's see, I'll probably test that and see if it's viable. DMR recoil adjusted. Rather than outright decrease the recoil, the change is more of a rework. It's languished since its changes in Season 1, but has not been forgotten. Expect the DMR to feel like a new weapon. Definitely going to try this one out. They rebuffed the damage, I think, a season or 2 ago, but they never really touched the recoil. They said they did, but it was still very unusable. Definitely going to try out the DMR again. M16 weapon kick decreased. Of the tactical rifles adjusted in this patch, the M16 received the smallest change. This is partly because we feel the M16 is already an acceptable spot for burst weapons. I've seen this one occasionally. I still don't think the M16 is very good, but I'm probably going to try out all the tac rifles and see how I feel. Type 63. Knew this one was getting a nerf. Definitely called it in the video that I put out on the Type 63, but I think everybody knew that was coming. Headshot multiplier decreased from 2.1 to 1.58. That is a huge nerf. Neck multiplier increased from 1.2 to 1.58. That's actually a pretty big damage buff. Upper torso multiplier decreased, lower torso multiplier decreased, and weapon kick decreased. I don't know why they decreased the weapon kick, but I do like to see the headshot and upper torso and stomach damage decreased. The Type 63 has become quite infamous recently, and for good reason. With a single headshot, time to kill could be reduced to 332 milliseconds, and with two, a mind-boggling 166 milliseconds, a speed with which only sniper rifles can compete with a TTK of 0, only the travel time of the bullet. This should put into perspective how out of line the Type 63 was. While these changes seem extreme, a TTK of 332 milliseconds is still possible. It will just require 3 headshots instead of 1. You could still see people run this as an SMG, but I don't think it will because the time to kill won't be as nearly as broken, especially with the torso multipliers decreased. That will definitely change it. And it just is a slower ADS. It requires way more skill than just using one of the better SMGs, so I definitely think you'll see this fall out as an SMG, but we'll have to see. Submachine Gun Charlie, Modern Warfare. So this is the Modern Warfare MP5. The 10mm mag has been nerfed. Change mirrors the adjustment to the base Submachine Gun Charlie made earlier this season. That makes sense. It gave it a broken TTK faster than the AS Val. I was kind of okay with it because it was only 30 rounds, but I definitely think it was probably a little overpowered, especially if you ran it in like solos. OTS 9, maximum damage range decreased by 6.2%. It already didn't have a killer damage range, so I don't really understand this one. I think if anything, you should have had a slight damage nerf. Sorry. Their disc might be a bit stronger than we would like, but we'd always like to first see how this change broadly impacts the weapon's viability. The OTS 9 was always intended to be a quintessence of barrel stuff for machine guns, a submachine gun that was intended to challenge shotguns within their effective damage range. We believe it is changing that, but its maximum damage range, while shorter than other Cold War SMG, might still be too long. We will continue to closely monitor the performance of the OTS 9. Definitely gonna have to try this one out. I love the OTS 9. If you watch my SMG video, I definitely think ammo's a problem. Didn't think the damage range was a problem, but we'll have to see how this feels now. PPSH, weapon kick adjusted, ADS sway adjusted. While firing the PPSH, the weapon could kick in a manner that would make it difficult to gauge bullet directionality. This is a subtle change that will have significant impact on the ability to reliably line up shots. Sounds like they made the PPSH easier to use. Like I said, if you watch my SMG video, you know it's one of my favorites. I actually love the PPSH, and I would really like to see it uptick in popularity. Sniper rifles, Swiss recoil adjusted, and ZRG recoil adjusted. I don't understand this. You're firing single shots. You're not even tap firing like a Type 63 or a DMR, so I don't understand adjusting sniper rifle recoil. But it says that it feels like one of the best snipers for ZRG. It's not a measurable impact on weapon's effectiveness, but should improve its overall feel. I don't understand the recoil adjustments on snipers, but hey, whatever. Barrels, assault rifle, Ranger, Liberator, GRU composite, vertical recoil control decreased from 10 to 8%. Reinforced heavy recoil control decreased from 5 to 4. Vertical recoil decreased from 5 to 4. This is not a huge change. Takedown or contour M2 barrel, horizontal recoil control decreased from 10 to 8%. Task Force, Spetsnaz, RPK, CMV, Mil-Spec, horizontal recoil control decreased from 10 to 8. Vertical recoil control decreased from 10 to 8. Not a huge change percentage-wise. The weapons that were kind of a little tough, like the EM2 and now going to be the C58, I think you'll feel this most, but like Krig, QBZ, Farah, the guns that are easier to control, you won't really feel this. It'll be, like I said, the EM2, the C58, the AK, kind of the XM4, I think is where you'll feel more of this in both the Ranger and the Task Force, Spetsnaz, and CMV Mil-Spec barrels. Light machine guns, match grade barrel. Horizontal recoil and vertical recoil control decreased from 5 to 4%. Again, not a huge change. And Task Force barrel decreased from vertical and horizontal recoil control decreased from 10% to 8%. As we settle on the proper magnitude of recoil control of these barrels, we expect this impact to impact individual weapons differently. Weapons that more heavily rely on the recoil control they receive from these barrels may need to be addressed independently to ensure they align with our weapon mastery goals. So we'll see how between this and the nerf on the Stoner, how the Stoner feels. I think this is going to knock the MG82 Maybe this will knock the MG82 out of viability. I know people struggle with the recoil more than the RPD and the Stoner. I definitely think you're going to see the RPD tick up in popularity, especially if the Stoner really is a little more difficult to use because the RPD doesn't move at all. Tactical rifles, DMR, 16.3-inch titanium barrel, damage range decrease reduced from 25 to 20%. So actually you're now getting more range to the titanium. Rate of fire increase reduced from 16.7 to 15%. We'll see what that rate of fire feels like. Definitely, like I said, going to try out the DMR again. With the aforementioned changes to the DMR, we thought it was necessary to make an adjustment to one of the most powerful attachment stats. And then rear grips, assault rifle, CODWZ, serpent grip. ADS speed increased, reduced from 9% to 7%. Not really sure why they're touching this. I don't see like anybody using the CODWZ, so I'm not really worried about that. Operators, we get Hudson. We're getting a Judge Dredd bundle. Store, we're getting another Pro Pack. And we're getting a Tracer Pack, Mastercraft. I think it's the AUG that it was, if I remember correctly. And then just download sizes. Like I said, I'll have this linked down below. But don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell for more. I'll also have my social medias linked down below, so please feel free to visit those. But I'll see you in Verdansk on Rebirth Island. Get frying. Have a good day. Bye.